Hi, Stanley. Thank you for coming on Under the Paycheck. I have attorney, CPA, and weight loss expert, writer of the books The Way of Excellence, Journal, The Way of You, The Way of Us, and you went from 360 pounds to 140 pounds. So I'm sure what everyone's first going to ask is, what is your secret?
Okay, my secret is the system itself, the way of excellence, which you see on the wall behind me, which you see a small version of it right here. Sorry, small version of it right there, and it's also
Mhm.
on the website. So, but no, what happened? I'll give you the really quick rundown. Okay, my mother died when I was 8.
Oh, sorry.
Needless to say, it messed with my head. I was living with my massively obese father, and we both literally just ate ourselves into oblivion. I mean, pretty much. And got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Over the years, I would lose some weight, then I'd put it back on. I'd lose some weight, I'd put it back on. So I learned some things out of that experience. Then as I was approaching, my maximum weight was 367. And then as I was approaching my 50th birthday, I'm 66 now. So that was almost exactly 17 years ago. As I was approaching my 50th birthday, I woke up and I said, where am I going to be in 5 years if I don't make some changes in my life?
Yeah.
And I did not like the answer, because would you care to guess what the answer to that was?
Probably some sort of health issues.
I know I'd be dead. That's as big a health issue as it gets. So I said, if I don't make some changes in 5 years, I'm going to be dead. I hadn't had a heart attack yet, hadn't had a stroke yet, knees hadn't given out yet, those other things hadn't happened yet. I have no doubt all those things were coming. So I said, this is ridiculous. This has got to go. So I was actually turned to my wife at the time and I said, I'm cooked. I'm done. Now, they always say in a 12-step program, you have to hit rock bottom. I won't say I hit rock bottom. I will say I was on my way to rock bottom. I mean, I was not at rock bottom. And that's one thing I disagree with. I don't think you have to hit rock bottom. You
Yeah.
don't. I believe people can change their lives in an instant if they're ready to change their lives in an instant. So right away, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to start eating better now. And I'm going to start exercising every day. I'm going to try to exercise every day starting now. My exercise of choice is going to be walking, because I picked that because you didn't need a lot of equipment. You could do it anywhere, pretty much
You
any
could
time.
start right now.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, it was not a straight line experience. I mean, I just didn't all of a sudden wake up and go, oh, I'm perfect. And I eat perfectly healthy and I walk every day and I'm a walking demon and I melted all at one time. Didn't happen that way. It was a gradual process. I mean, the first thing I did was I quit drinking immediately, right then and there. I quit drinking because I said, alcohol does not serve me. I'm serving it. I won't say I was an alcoholic, but I will definitely say I was drinking too much. So I
Okay.
just quit, because some people, many people, me included, we have what's known as an addictive personality. When we do things, we're all in. So why drink a little bit when you can drink a lot? Why eat a little bit when you can eat a lot? All those kind of things. So I decided I needed to shed some of my negative habits. So I quit drinking. I quit drinking soda pop. Those 2-liter bottles of soda,
Yeah.
it was Diet Pepsi, caffeine free, but still diet garbage, in my opinion. But I was drinking 3 of those a day. It's bad.
Instead of water.
Yeah, instead of water. What do you think? Could have drank water instead. A lot cheaper too. And then I quit beef and pork. Just right then and there, I quit beef and pork. Haven't had that in 17 years. And started losing weight, slowly started walking. I had trouble walking in the beginning. It was, walking a block or two was tough. I'd be huffing and puffing. I live on a teeny bit of a hill. Walking down was easy. Walking up was huffing and puffing kind of thing. But, I made it and I kept going. I did a lot of my walking in the pool in the beginning because it was easier on my joints, until I got to the point. I kept challenging myself, pushing myself, pushing myself. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I'm all getting toward the answer to your question. I'm going to get there, but having the backstory helps. So the number one thing I did was I did not quit. That is the secret. That is the
Not
answer to
quitting.
your question. Do not expect yourself to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Goal is not perfection. The goal is excellence. Can you see this or is it backwards?
Yeah, no, it looks
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. The goal is excellence, not perfection. If you try for perfection, guess what? You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. You are a human being. You're going to mess up and you're gonna mess up big time. There are no perfect human beings, not even me, not even Amy. We're not perfect. So don't even try to be. Realize ahead of time that you're going to make mistakes. And that when you make a mistake, you just go, there you go. I made a mistake or I made that mistake again. Pick yourself up, hop back on the wagon and keep going. That is the secret right
I
there.
think you could say that about a lot of things, like
Everything,
about going, your business, work, relationships, you even like your own emotions. If you have downward
every,
spirals, you got to get up the next day and just try to be happier.
it applies to everything. That's why I've always been a systems thinker as an attorney and a CPA, especially as a CPA. I've been a systems thinker. I mean, just look at this chart. How anal could you get when you're putting that chart together? I mean, everything's color coded, everything lines up nice and neat, you know, and everything else. And you know what's funny? You see this chart? I actually discovered the other day there is one word in here that I misspelled. All the times I went through it, there's one word I misspelled. And you know what's funny? I decided to leave it in. And the reason I decided to leave it in is because it's about being excellent, not about being perfect.
Not perfection.
So I left it in. That was the universe sending me a signal that Stanley, you are not perfect. Don't try to be. So I left it in there. So I should tell people that put them on a treasure hunt to figure out which word is misspelled. Anyway, so I kept going. So I turned this into a system. And the reason why I turned it into a system is I wanted people to be able to duplicate this. I wanted to be able to duplicate this
Mhm.
because what I learned three things out of my experience. And I'll start by telling you, I'm a pretty confident guy.
That's
Always been
good.
pretty
We all
confident.
need it.
Okay. I did not get to be an attorney and a CPA without being confident. But would you believe me if I told you the experience of losing 220 pounds and keeping it off blew my mind? It did.
I think it would blow my mind to even just lose like 20 pounds. I can't
Well,
imagine 220 pounds.
fortunately, you didn't need to. I mean, here, let me show you this. Here I have all my pictures. That was
I
me. Yeah.
That's a really good transformation.
Yeah. Needless to
Is
say. So
in your career of being an attorney, do you think that could have possibly affected your weight? Because, for example, when I used to work at the courthouse, I was not an attorney, but I was a paralegal, and it was
that
just
means you did all the work.
I did it all for you.
Yeah.
But I would be sitting in a chair in front of a computer for 10 to 12 hours a day.
Hmm.
And at that point, working at the courthouse, I was at my heaviest. I know I'm not a skinny mini now, but I was heavier a couple years ago inside the courthouse.
Hmm.
And I was simply just not moving. And even if you like have your lunches and everything and you try to like eat healthy, I was simply not moving. I was just in
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
spot for
You
40, 60 hours.
You have to do both. It is okay. You cannot eat your way out. You cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. That's the first thing. You have to eat healthy. And then what I think is healthy and what a lot of other people think is healthy based upon what they're told in the news are two different things. Because a lot of what we're told about what's healthy is BS. That's my
Yeah.
opinion again, based upon what I've learned. And the second thing is you got to move. Even if it's what I would have recommended to you, if I would have known you back then, I would have said, you need to schedule. Did you have breaks during your day? 10 minutes?
It was very frowned upon. It wasn't the
No,
greatest
those
work.
law firms, I know those, but you got to take a 10-minute walk somewhere,
Hmm.
even a 5-minute walk, couple of 5-minute walks a day, 10-minute walk. I mean, I'll give you an example. The other day, I had to take my wife to the eye doctor. I took her because they were going to dilate her eyes, and I don't like her to have to drive home when her eyes are dilated. So I took her. I mean, before she went, she was all stressed out. Oh, I hate going here. I hate this. I hate that. We got there early. We parked the car. The office was in the neighborhood. We parked the car. We went for a 20-minute walk in the neighborhood. And she sat there and she said, boy, I feel so much better now. This was so enjoyable walking here. She says, I should do that every time when I come here for my appointment. I should get here early and go for a walk. And I said, yes, you should. So it changes your brain chemistry. It changes your body chemistry. Your body needs movement, even just a little bit. You don't have to do what I do. I mean, I'm a moving machine. I'm always moving. But you don't have to do that. But you need to move some, at least 20 minutes a day. You need to do it. I mean, I think it's the American College of Sports Medicine recommends 150 minutes of physical activity a week. So I tell people if you walk 20 minutes a day, it's 140 minutes you're covered. You're good. So, and if you can walk more, do more. But you need to do something and you need to keep going. And if you miss a day, based upon what I told you, what are you going to do if you missed a day?
Just try again the next day.
The
Pick
next day
myself
you're
up.
gonna walk. And you know something else? You're gonna have days where you don't feel like it. And you know what I always say when you have a day when you don't feel like it? Those are the days when you should do it twice.
No, no.
Because you are teaching your brain, you are re-educating your brain. It's all about bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance with each other. I mean, that's what this is all about. And let me see, I was going to say, or I have another picture for you when I get to it, but you bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance. And by doing that, yeah, here we go. See this picture? There's
Yes.
the mind is
Mind,
red, the
body,
body is,
spirit.
and green is spirit. You
Mhm.
want to be this little person in the middle.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah. And you notice I made him, it's a man or a woman. You can't tell which it is. And I did that on purpose because it applies to everybody. But you want to be that in the middle where everything is balanced. And if your body is out of whack, something somewhere's out of balance. If your mind is out of whack, something's out of balance. If your spirit is down, something's out of balance. So, I mean, like with me, I wasn't walking enough. I wasn't getting any exercise. I was eating garbage. And, with you were sitting in the courthouse all day, not getting any exercise. And hopefully you were bringing your own food. I don't know what you were eating, but even then, it may or may not have been the greatest stuff to eat.
Probably the
And
sandwiches.
yeah,
Easy.
I know, easy. Exactly. And because you're a human being, and believe me, been there, done that. I've got, I'm 66. I've got a few years on you. Everything you've done, I've done it at least 5 or 10 times myself. I can promise you. Because again, I'm not perfect. But so I was telling you, I learned 3 things from the experience. First thing was I'm more powerful than I ever imagined.
I think a
Period.
lot of people are.
Well, we're about to get to that because that's the third thing. The second thing was that if I could do this, what else is out there waiting for me to do that I haven't done yet? And that's the job that I've taken on now. Since you like to know about jobs, we'll get into that. But the way of excellence and the £1,000,000 weight loss challenge, which we're going to talk about too, are the things that I haven't done yet. The third thing I learned is that if I'm more powerful than I ever imagined, so is everybody else. I am no more special than you. You are no more special than me. We are all special, every single one of us. And we should realize that and wake up and start acting upon that. But the problem is we don't believe it. And for whatever reason, we've failed in the past. And the past is what we should learn from, not where we should live. Every time we keep saying, I've failed in the past, I've failed in the past, you're living in the past. This is the present. You screwed up. Good. Congratulations. Did you learn something?
I've actually read today that it's getting pretty bad, that 40% of Americans are in obesity or are
It's more
facing
like
obesity.
50 something to 60% is the statistics I've seen.
So,
And it's not just America. It's in the world. Anyway, go ahead.
okay, I only read and I believe it. I don't think we're the greatest at eating healthy, at exercising, at promoting well-being of you can do it, or of aligning, like some of your books say, of aligning mind, body, and spirit, because it can't just be the food. It has to be a combination of things as to why we're facing 40, 50, 60% of obesity.
Well, you want me to go into that?
Sure, please.
Okay. It's all about the money.
Just the money. No,
It is. Okay. Okay. This is what I think eating healthy is.
I agree.
Okay. How much money is there to be made by companies who sell us this? as opposed to companies who sell us hamburgers, French fries, fried chicken, all these other processed foods and everything else. They want to make money off of us, and they purposely they have food chemists who make the food addictive. It tastes good, it's addictive, and you just want to eat more of it, more of it, and more of it. And that's one of the problems. We have our healthcare system, I believe, is broken. It teaches us how to deal with problems once we have them, but it doesn't spend nearly enough time teaching us how to avoid the problems in the first place. Most doctors, the amount of time that they spend on nutrition in medical school is minuscule. If a good way to put it, you should imagine this white piece of paper is everything a doctor learns in medical school.
Hmm.
That little blue dot is how much time they spend on nutrition.
Yeah, the only advice I've ever gotten is just eat a little less from
Yeah.
my doctors.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm going to tell you the exact opposite. I tell anybody I work with, I tell them, if you only eat healthy food and you quit eating when you're full, you can eat whatever you want,
Hmm.
but it has to, and whenever you want, but it has to be healthy food.
I know vegetables and such is granted a little bit more expensive than possibly your $3 value meal at McDonald's,
I
but
thought they were up to $5 or $6 now, but anyway,
I'm vegetarian. I grew up vegetarian, so I don't even know prices of meat.
yeah, it's more. The way I eat is cheaper.
Okay. It's I would imagine that sure, say like the avocado is $5 and you have to go get like other things. I view it as somewhat
Avocados are a buck.
not here. I know that for sure. I'm in
We're-
California, Los
I'm in Arizona.
Angeles.
I mean, we go to Costco. You get a package of them, 5, 6, 7 of them for
Oh,
$4 or $5.
Costco's packed. You're gonna be swimming in people. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's you don't go there if you're in a hurry, that's for sure.
But I would see it as like an investment because later down the line, you won't have, hopefully, these health issues, or you won't have to take medications for like high blood pressure and obesity or heart rates or a number of other things. So,
It is an
sure.
investment. You're absolutely right.
So, can't people see what the money is really going towards?
We're
Or
not
is that just really difficult?
taught that, and also taught short-term gratification,
Yeah, that's true.
everything. Okay, I want something, Amazon, have it tomorrow, if not earlier. Okay, want some food, Uber, bring it here. Whatever, instant, need some information, Siri, Alexa, give it to me now. And we don't have any patience. Repeated short-term discipline brings long-term rewards. It really is that simple. We're not being taught the right things and the wrong things are being emphasized. Okay, like this podcast. You told me we're going to make it 30 minutes. And I promise you, you and I could talk for 5 hours on this subject
Probably.
and have good content. But the reason you tell me to limit it to 30 minutes is because no one's going to listen for 31. But yet there's good information out there to be gained.
There's a lot of free information too.
Yeah. You talk
It's
about
all
free
out there.
information. Okay. You go to my website. I have 7 books on there digitally for free. You don't even have to sign up for my email list to get them. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
Where
You
do
get
they
them
find it?
thewayofexcellence.com. And I have a thing for that.
Web excellence.
Thewayofexcellence.com. Now, but they're for free. And the reason why they're free is I want to help people. The mission is more important than the money. Now, don't get me wrong. I like money. I want to make money. Sure. You want to work with me privately. You want to join a group that I put together. Those cost money. But if you don't have money, which many people don't, or don't want to spend the money, or if you are a self-starter, that doesn't mean you should be denied the information. We are all worthy of the information. That's why I make it available for free. I am very fortunate at the stage of my life that I am at. I am debt free. I do not have to work. I work because I choose to work, because I told you what the second thing I learned, I still have things to do. And I'm still young at heart. I just got back from the doctor yesterday. I had my annual physical, got all my blood work and everything, and my blood work is better than most 30-year-olds. And it's because I eat right, and it's because I exercise every day, repeatedly, over and over and over. See, there's this thing called constant and never-ending improvement. And that's one of the books that you can download. I'm trying to find it right here. I don't know where it's at anyway, but it's constant and never-ending improvement. The goal is to get better every day. The goal is to beat yesterday. You
I
want to
love
be
this.
like I purposely I bought myself a recipe box and I printed out a bunch of pictures because people like pictures. And when we're talking, it makes it a lot easier. The goal is to beat yesterday. Be better today than you were yesterday, better tomorrow than you were today. And you're not always going to do that because once again, I said you're not perfect. You're going to have days where you know some days breaking even is beating yesterday.
I
You know,
think it's definitely helpful seeing you as like an example or seeing people of like it can be done. It's like, for example, how you could basically retire now. I think a lot of people in their 30s and 20s could only hope for that and are striving for that. But do a lot of people reach it? I don't know. I haven't reached that.
and it's
Not
tougher for your generation. You guys have it tough with
yet. None of
AI
my
and
friends
with
think they
AI
can
in the mix.
retire.
Yeah, it throws it all around. This is what I was talking about. This is why we're all obese. Instant
Yeah.
gratification, long-term results, all long-term benefits. We need to focus on the long term. What is better for us in the long term? And yeah, no, so you're right. Retirement is a goal that you always hear about. And this is the book I was talking about. I found the slide, the picture. The Way of Can I, Constant and Never Ending Improvement. CANI. The answer is yes, you can. Now, just get better every day. That's the goal. See, now here's where, how money in the bank, compound interest, how money in the bank grows. Okay. This is the same thing. I am at the very tail end. In 2 weeks, I will be starting year 18. I'm in the very tail end of my 17th year of constant and never ending improvement. The person I am today is nothing like the person I was 17 years ago. I'll give you an example. The person I was 17 years ago, I told you I had trouble walking up and down the street. Well, since that day 17 years ago, this is what I have done.
Oh, wow. Oh my God, I've never measured it that way.
I have walked 30% of the distance to the moon. And at my present rate, it's only going to take me another 39 years to get there.
I would much rather measure my way to the moon than the way we measure it now with like miles and
Well,
calories.
there's another way of looking at it. This is what I
Oh my
walked last.
goodness.
That's what I walked last year. I started in Los Angeles and I ended up in the Atlantic Ocean.
My gosh.
And that was a person I couldn't walk down. I had trouble walking the block, but I kept going and I got better and better. And people go, do I have to walk like that? And the answer is no, you don't. You don't, walking like that, that's my craziness. That doesn't have to be yours. And people ask me, why do you do that? You know why I do it? Because it makes me tougher. It makes me stronger. It makes me healthier. And here's the best reason, because I can. One of the things I do is I did this when I'm 66 years old. I couldn't have done it when I was 30. I couldn't have done it, when I was 15. I couldn't have done it. And the point is, I want to see what I'm going to do next year. I want to beat
Maybe
that.
reach the moon. You'll probably hit the moon.
No, it's a long way. It's going to take a while. But one of the things I will have is come June at my present pace, I will have completed my third trip around the earth at the equator.
I need to start tracking. I've never found a fun way to track it. I love this concept of how many times have you walked around the earth? How many times have you gone from like here to New York? I just know I've gone from here to New York by plane. I don't know how many steps I've done to get from here to New York.
Start
So that's a
tracking.
really good whole idea.
I track my steps every single day, and this is my step counter so far for the day.
Oh, okay. I have the watch.
See, I can't wear the watch because I find the watch for me is not accurate. Because if you don't swing your arms, you're not going to get an accurate result. And if when I'm on the treadmill, I'm not swinging my arms. So, I actually wear it. I have a wristband on my ankle, and
Oh.
and I clip that to the wristband on my ankle. And I do that, and lo and behold, I get very accurate results. You want to measure your steps, put it on your feet, uh, you know, kind of thing. But first of all, you're my friend now, so I'm going to help you any way I can.
Thank you.
But you are capable of whatever you want to do. You are so young. I'm young. I'm 66 and I'm young.
Yes, I agree.
I know better than to ask you how old you are. But you're
I tell my 89-year-old grandmother that she's still super young.
And is she?
I think so.
Good. Does she
She
walk every
might
day?
not think so.
Does she walk every day?
She had a flesh-eating bacteria eat half of her legs.
Ouch. So the
So
answer is no.
the answer is no, but she could have if it wasn't for that flesh-eating bacteria.
Well, hopefully it's
Sh
getting better.
Yes, no, no, this was many, many years ago. She's doing great. She's one of those classic grandmas.
Okay. My suggestion would be just eat a healthy diet
Oh, yeah, she
and
eats
walk what you
very
can.
well.
But yeah, because the older generations, not all of them, but they grew up we go to the market and we want to buy organic vegetables. That's all they had.
Mhm.
So I've got my new project right here. That is those lights over there. That's an organic hydroponic garden. I just
Ooh.
started a couple of weeks ago and I can't wait to have some healthy stuff. Just go, oh, I want some greenery. Just go snag it off the thing and
Yeah.
do that. So I'm going to give that a try. That's my baby. I'm playing with it.
We
But
have apple trees, lemon trees, guava, chiles, a bunch of other things back there.
oh, I love that.
The only thing I've never been able to realize, you'll only get food maybe like once or twice a year from the plant. So
Yeah.
it amazes me that we've been able to feed like an entire planet when this plant will give me 2 apples. And that's it
Well, they have
for the whole year
industrial farming does a better job of
than
that,
what I can.
when you have in your backyard. And I mean, it does. But then you have I've got neighbors down the street, they've got lemons. I mean, she's got unlimited lemons on her lemon tree. I mean, she's trying to
Yeah.
give them away to everybody. Me, I like oranges and grapefruit when I can get those. Those are really nice. But you can find it. And that's one thing. We're on such a plentiful planet, but we spend it eating all this other stuff. And, okay, you said you're a vegetarian, and I don't know whether you did it for health reasons or you did it for ethical reasons.
I was raised that way.
Okay, so did your parents do it for ethical reasons or health reasons?
Health reasons.
Okay, because there are two brands. I'm vegan, whole food, plant based specifically,
Mm.
because you can be vegan and eat Doritos and potato chips all day and
Lay's.
Oreos and everything else. That's me. It needs to be whole food, real food. But there are two branches. One is they do it for ethical reasons. They don't want to see animals killed. They don't want to eat animals. That's important to me. I care about that, but that's not why I went vegan. I went vegan for health reasons. And I didn't do it all at once either. I told you I started out, I quit drinking and I quit beef and pork. I went another
Mhm.
5 years before I quit chicken and turkey, which was essentially going vegetarian.
Yeah.
But I and I was at that time, I got to the end as recently as like 8 years ago, I was walking 12 to 15 miles every day, eating what I thought was healthy, vegetarian, and my weight couldn't get below 180, and it wasn't stable. It'd go 180, 190, 200, 190, 200, 180, 200, it'd go back and forth. It wasn't stable. So I sat there one day and I said, I'm doing something wrong. If I'm walking this much and the weight's not coming off, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I said, I'm going to quit eating bread, butter, cheese, and ice cream, which was essentially going vegan. So I quit bread, butter, cheese, and ice cream. And you're smiling because those are probably some of your favorite foods.
No, 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 but a lot of people just, as a vegetarian, think that I eat bread and salads.
No, not
That's it.
necessarily.
It is not.
No. And when I quit eating those things, you know what happened? I lost 50 pounds in like 5 minutes. I mean, the weight just came off like I literally melted when I quit those things. And you know what else happened? My energy level went through the roof. I mean, how do you think I walk like this? I think I have the energy to walk like this. It's because of the food that I eat. And everybody says you need to have more protein, more protein, more protein. How are you going to get protein if you're vegetarian or vegan? The answer is, where do you think the cows get their protein from?
There's almost protein in everything.
Yes.
Almost. And it's not like we have to use all this energy for this protein.
No,
We
not at
just
all. And you're absolutely right. And by doing this, you're just eliminating the middleman. What you need is more fiber.
yeah.
That's what we need. I get tons of fiber. That's what I focus on. I made a tomato soup the other day. It's tomatoes, white beans, onion, and I threw a pound of tofu in there to add some more protein to it. Threw it all in the pressure cooker. cooked it all down, and then I threw it in the blender and turned it into a tomato bisque. And it's delicious and it's high protein. It's got the beans and it's got the tofu and it's high fiber. That's what
It's
you need.
delicious.
Yeah, and it's actually good, believe it or not. And I made it. My wife was like, "I don't think this is gonna come out good." And then I made it. She said, "That smells good." And she tasted it. She said, "That's delicious." And I said, "Yeah, I accidentally make things that taste good sometimes. You experiment, you see what you do. But those are the things. It's get started and don't stop for the rest of your life. That's the secret. And get better every day. That's it.
How did you apply this to writing your books? Because you've written a lot of books, and writing a book takes a lot of time.
I have a
It's
lot to say. I devote. You ever heard of Cal Newport? Deep work.
Cal Newport?
Cal Newport, an author, he talks about deep
Ah,
work. You set aside periods of productivity where you shut out the world. You turn off your phone, you turn everything off, and you shut it out and you do the work. That's what you do. And I'm also very organized. That helps too. I mean, I'm organized to the point where it hurts.
yeah.
And because I could not do what I do if I weren't organized. I couldn't do half of what I do. So those are the keys. But it's just doing it and building over time. I mean, I didn't start out doing this, you know, in 5 minutes. These are all, and also when you do as much walking as I do,
A lot of thinking.
you meet some very interesting people, and the most interesting person you meet is yourself, and you do a lot of thinking. And as I think, I have my phone with me, I type myself a note, and I have that idea, and that thought is there, and somewhere along the line, I might apply it, and that's how you do it. But it's just, and again, you don't have to do what I do. Do what works for you. That's why I put it into a system. And the system is not called the way of Stanley. The system is the way of excellence. If you want to be excellent, create your own version of excellence. What works for you? What makes Amy into the most powerful, incredible, beautiful woman she is?
Thank you. I do need to figure that out.
No, no, no. I want to change your word.
Oh, no.
Number 6 in the system talks about perspective, and it says, we don't need to do anything. We get to do it. You're still alive. You don't need to figure it out. You get to figure it
I
out.
get to figure it out.
It is your privilege to figure it out. You're already
Mhm.
kick ass. Go get them, girl.
Thank you. You beat some of the most authors, I would say. If you think about some of the popular like authors that are producing series, like
Yes.
that 3-volume, 5-volume book, I think it takes them about a year to complete one book and publish it. But I believe you said you have like 40?
Yeah, but these have written over the last, 25 plus years.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Some of them, and a lot of them aren't available anymore. I mean, I
Mhm.
have them because, to be quite frank with you, my earlier work was not as good as my latest work
Yeah.
because these ideas have been refined over the years. This system that I came up with, there were parts of it that came into my mind many years earlier. But what happened was at one October, I think it was 2017 or 2016, I have to go look on the calendar. I literally locked myself in my house and I got on my treadmill and I had a computer hooked up to the treadmill. And I got on there and I walked 20 days in a row. I walked a marathon. So I was on the treadmill for 11 to 12 hours every day because I walked slowly. I was on the treadmill and the computer for 11 to 12 hours every day. And this system, the genesis of it came out of that. It evolved after that point and it turned into something more. But it's time. It's constant and never ending improvement, beating yesterday. That's what it's all about. You know,
Probably also limitations, like you putting limitations on yourself because you just mentioned you were able to do a marathon just on your treadmill, just casually. I did a marathon right here, the Los Angeles one,
yeah.
and I did no training for it. I just woke up the day before and said, "Hey, the marathon's tomorrow. I'm going to go do the marathon."
Can you see my sign on the wall there? Be
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 limitless.
okay.
Oh, I lost your audio. I
Can you hear me?
think
Can
I'm
you
losing
hear?
you.
Hang on.
Okay, I heard you right there.
You hear me now? Okay, there.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't move my camera around like that. Okay. But so you did a marathon with no training.
Mhm. In my Converse.
And I bet you were pretty darn sore after that.
I could not move for like 3 days after, but I did it, and I still have the medals somewhere in the garage.
Yeah, I know. And whereas me, I do it the exact first of all, that's excellent. That's wonderful. But I would have told you, build yourself up to it. Don't do it all at once. Set yourself a goal and do that. Because when you accomplish it and then you're so beat up that you can't move the next 3 days, that's giving your body negative feedback. Whereas the way I do it, I can do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you told me, Stanley, you have to walk a marathon tomorrow, I'll go, okay. And then if you tell me I need to do another one the next day, I'll go, okay. And then another one the next day, I'll do, okay. Now, it will take me 11 to 12 hours to do it. I'll be slow as molasses, but I'll do it. And that is another thing. You know, everybody think in our society, everything is go, 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 go. Got to have it immediately. Well, do you know who my favorite animal is? This is my
Uh,
favorite animal.
the snails.
Snails, slow, steady, diligent, persistent. They get where they're going no matter how long it takes. Just start moving, keep going. And that's what it is. Because if you don't stop, it's like the tortoise and the hare. You don't stop, you're going to win. And, and there are different versions of winning, and you don't have to win immediately. It's just getting better over time. I mean, okay, can you imagine? This is January 15th. Let's do a little scenario. January 15th, 2026. That day
Today.
is Amy's rebirth day. Amy's going to mark it on the calendar. This is her rebirth day, and she's going to start celebrating her rebirth day on January 15th every year. And she is going to work on beating yesterday. She's going to figure out where she's at, what she wants to start doing, and set some goals for herself, and work on them slowly, steadily, not all at once, being patient, working toward it. And I can promise you, a year from now, you'll be immensely better. And
Farther than I
2 years
am now.
and 3 years from now, you will get better. It's just play a game with yourself. You said you like games. You said you like pictures. You like different ways of thinking about things. There you go. It's your birthday. What gift do you want to give yourself on your first rebirthday? I mean, I'm thinking right now, I've got my 17th rebirthday coming up February the 1st. What am I going to give myself? And I'm probably just going to walk a marathon because we're not going to take any trips or anything because we've got some trips planned for later on in the year.
Later in the year.
So those are my presents. But that's the point. And you just build and you grow. And that's where the power is. We are all limitless. It's being willing to change. That's what it's all about. I
I
think we're
love it,
about done because
Stanley.
you told me 30 minutes and it's been 46. I think we're
Yes, I was just about to say thank you so much for coming on Under the Paycheck. I know we didn't get into like full on numbers, but I love the conversation. I hope someone can take something away from this today, or at least open to taking away something from this.
two websites.
Yes, please.
Thewayofexcellence.com. All my books are there. And then you have millionpoundweightlosschallenge.com. That is a weight loss website. That website
Perfect.
is different. You have to sign up it's a free account, but you have to sign up and create an account. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to be able to control who goes on the site
Yeah.
because I created it as a safe space for overweight people. I did not want to create a space for trolls to go when they want to have some fun with overweight people. So it's a safe space. And there is tons of information on there on healthy nutrition. All this stuff I did it with no drugs, no surgeries. I am 66. I take no prescription medications. I do take supplements and I eat a healthy diet, but I take no prescription medications whatsoever and no surgeries involved in this. I do not think it's necessary. I think you can do it. I know you can do it. And I'm here to help you. I am. I'd love to help people. Those are my goals. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm working for this paycheck.